Hey guys, this is James from TeaDB. We are joined again by my good friend, Mr. Meat.
Hey, how's it going? I guess I'm becoming more of a regular as far as your Y2T Tea Club teas come in.
Yep, so it's that time of month.
It's a good time of month.
Yeah, where we have some white tea stuff to drink. I just got these in the mail just a couple days ago, so hopefully the teas are not too jet-lagged. So what are we brewing first?
We're gonna be brewing a 2011 aged white tea of Fuding. It's 50 grams. The sample is 50 grams. And how much of the 50 grams did you take?
I took about 7 grams out, so 7 and a half.
That's the normal amount that you go with, right?
Yeah, that'd be a pretty normal amount for me.
So the cake the tea is different because it comes in a more compressed form, and it's not very old. It's aged only a few years.
Yeah, and so for those that may not have tuned in to our past couple episodes, have we done any aged white teas before?
Actually, I guess we haven't, right?
No, we have.
We have?
Both the past two. The white teas,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't remember the years they were made in.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. So this one's 2011. I think the one from last episode was 2005.
You're probably right.
And then 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I hadn't done my homework.
Yeah.
But, both of those teas were pretty decent. I'm not sure if I can tell aging in white tea very well. Oh wow, this smells great.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm super well versed in either.
Yeah. It has a very good aroma, you know, after that first rinse. I'm kind of interested in what it tastes like.
Does it smell like a white tea to you?
It's, you know, it has a few. It smells a little bit spicy. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it.
Interesting. Yeah.
But,
I could see that. So this tea was stored in Guangzhou, supposedly, I think is what it says. And one of the notes that Two Dog gave on this piece of paper was that white tea starts to show its age around this age. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's they're saying that it transforms into medicine after a 3-year mark, and this is a couple of years after that. Older than 3 years, but it'll be interesting to see what it tastes like. It had a good yellowish, goldenish hue to the brewing.
Yeah. So it looked very nice clarity on it. And I'm gonna do one more steep in here. So, like Meat was saying, it's sort of like it's a really nice clarity on that. Sort of like a golden. You could definitely see it.
Yep.
And for those that have not seen it, this tea does come in caked form, so similar to the first aged white tea that we had, it's compressed.
Right. Although we're brewing it a different style than we did the first one.
That's right. Yeah. The first tea we put the glass kettle there and we boiled it, and this one we're.
That was very interesting. That was a unique way about going about brewing tea.
Yeah. You know, I actually posted that episode online, and apparently I did it wrong. So, who knew?
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Well,
cheers.
Cheers.
What do you think?
Wow, this tastes good. Definitely doesn't taste spicy. It's very light actually. It has a slight bitterness, but it's not the usual kind of bitterness that I'm used to. If that, like, it's sweeter. It's a little, and I feel like that's the first thing you notice about the tea the moment you put it in your mouth.
Is the bitterness or the sweetness?
The sweet bitterness, that early taste is, the first taste that you get is very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not very bitter actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And does that bitterness sort of like transform in your mouth to be sort of like a sweet aftertaste?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It's very pleasant so far.
And for your teas, do you tend to, like, if a tea is bitter, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing usually for you?
I think originally it makes a mark on me. If a tea starts out bitter,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely makes an impression on me. But what I've realized is a lot of the times the starting point, if it's so bitter, it only gets more and more bitter after a few brewings with some teas.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is at that point they kind of become hard to drink for me. They go a little bit too bitter on the far
Yeah. Is that kind of like the raw pour that we had on the show just a couple episodes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That raw pour started out amazingly well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like maybe if we had brewed it lighter in the next couple of sessions, maybe it would have come off okay, but I think you were brewing your normal brewing style, but it just, for me, it went a little bit too bitter in that third brewing at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would tend to agree with you. And the tea that Meat is referring to is the TeaDB 2005 raw pour. That was in the white tea box in this is March to February.
Yeah.
So we'll do another one here. So first impressions of this tea are pretty positive.
Yes, very positive. And it looks like that tea just can keep on going as far as brewing goes. The color looks great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. What does it smell like?
Yeah. Interesting. Smells pretty similar. For me, this tea still definitely has sort of like that structure of a white tea.
Yeah. The leaves are kind of nice and big.
It's brewing out a little bit slower than the previous white tea, and that's probably just because it's compressed a little bit more. The last one, I remember we dumped it in and it just like immediately took up the entire gaiwan.
That's true.
And so this one's not quite as fluffy, and part of that is just simply the compression.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't the first episode we did, the January tea, right, was the first time I had seen compressed white teas. And not that, I mean, again, I'm not very well versed in white teas, so I don't know, but that was a very unique experience, and then this is again the second time that we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah, and I haven't had a ton of white teas, aged white teas either, especially caked white teas. I think I've had a couple beforehand. And it's interesting, and for the most part, they've been pretty pleasant experiences.
I agree.
I would say this tea is a little bit more, you talk about sort of like that bitterness hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit stronger in this tea.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like, on the other hand, the sweetness has kind of reduced, but it's more bitter, as opposed to previously it being more. The overall feeling was it was sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the initial steep.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The initial steep. Sorry, I was going to say something and I forget. Again, yeah, very, very kind of a cooling after feeling,
So like refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. Very refreshing, like breathing in your mouth and just feeling cool. I don't know. Yeah.
So if you
Cool
were
breeze.
going to go, because I seem to like to bring up these
Oh, yeah.
analogies, if you were going to go on a date afterwards, this would be a good tea to have to just sort of refresh your breath.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a great.
I mean that's
Nice.
pretty much that's a pretty high recommendation. So the second steep is a little bit more bitter. It's a little stronger.
Mhm.
Do you still enjoy it?
I still like it though. It's not you know at a level where it would repulse me or it would put me off. You know.
Okay.
Those
Those are also two good things that it's good not to do at a date. Yeah.
Yes. This would also be a good tea for warm weather. I think you know, like kind of easy to
Yeah, I
bring down.
think that's absolutely right. Yeah. And I think sort of like Meat says, this tea, it's soft. There is that hint of bitterness that I think's been there every steep, but it's not overpowering. And I think for the most part, the tea leaves your mouth feeling very nice, very sweet. It's not like a super complex tea or anything like that, but
Yeah.
but it is a pretty enjoyable tea for me at least.
Right, I agree. It's a very light tea.
Yeah, very easygoing, very easy to drink. So last question about this tea is, how would you rank it compared to the other two white teas that we've had?
Right. I felt like I liked the previous tea that we had.
The 2005?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but I want to say I almost like this a lot more if we were just comparing those three.
Interesting.
Yeah. This tea might be something that I would go for on a semi-regular basis.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I never thought I'd say something like this about white tea, but this one definitely has that feeling that I would. Yeah, every other day or every few, twice a week or something. I would definitely want to go with this tea, and maybe more often during summer.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on about describing this tea as sort of like a go-to summer tea. I think for me, white teas in general they serve two purposes. A, they're great with company, and B, like on a date, or B during the summertime, and C, all of the above.
Yes.
We're back for InBetweenIsode number 79, part
Nice.
2.
Wow.
Which apparently is the How to Go on a Date with Tea episode. So what do we have now, Meat?
We have a 2009 U Rapport.
Yep.
The owner talks about how it's their second shot for swinging for the value fences. It's stored in Guangzhou.
Yep.
And it's a tea that according to the seller would cost a lot normally, but right now it's at a fraction of the price, and they say that it might even spike in prices within a few years.
Interesting.
So they're kind of trying to appeal to the people that buy raw pours in bulk, and with this tea to buy this in bulk potentially and store it for future as the raw pours get older, they get more complex, they get more interesting.
And they usually cost more too.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand, exactly.
Yeah, so this tea, kind of like you're saying, raw pours sort of hit this, some people consider it like a first stage. It's considered, you drink them while it's like new, while it's like the first year or the second year. But they start to sort of really develop their age characteristics, and one common time to drink them is right around the 7-year mark. And so this tea, 2009 production, it's 2016 now, so it sort of just hit that mark, so it's a good time to sort of like drink it again, evaluate it, think about what sort of like age tea it's going to be. So I just gave this tea a rinse. I preheated my vessel as well, so you can have a smell.
Smells nice. Smells like raw pours in general.
A little bit of floralness. You can definitely tell that the storage is dry. It's not like super dank or basementy.
Yeah. those were some interesting teas that we tried while we were out in Hong Kong. We had some dank cooler teas, right? Well, stored in dank conditions or very humid conditions. And interestingly enough, I enjoyed those teas quite a bit as well. I almost regret not getting some of those while we were out there. That would have been an interesting way to go.
It's a lot harder to find that sort of like storage type out here in the West. And this storage is not dank. It's not that sort of style tea.
Right.
So.
I'm trying to think of how the tea, the tea from the previous tea club, the one from February tasted. I know it was pretty bitter initially, and then it got a lot bitter. I'm trying to want.
So you're talking about the raw pour, the TG tool, the 2005 TG tool. Yeah.
There you go. What was? I feel like it was fairly smooth and clean. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it probably had somewhat similar storage to this.
Okay.
They're obviously very different teas too. They smell very different.
Yeah.
Let's have at this.
Let's try to go at it. Yes.
Cheers.
What do you feel so far?
It has a nice viscosity, so it's reasonably thick, especially compared to the white tea. I think moving to this, you could tell that it just has like a thicker consistency to it. For me, this tea definitely has sort of like the characteristics of the area Iwu, which is one of my favorite areas. It sort of like hits the. I really notice tea sort of at the back of my mouth.
I agree. Yes. Very true.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel like it's the first brewing, so I feel like the complexities haven't fully opened up. But you get the hint of those complexities a little bit. You know, you see that it's a very subtle tastes. They're very subtle tastes, and then I feel like they'll open up gradually. But it's a very light tea so far, light flavoring. You know.
Is this tea bitter to you?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I'm liking this as well actually. It's and it's still very clean. It tastes good.
Yeah. So like the Hong Kong teas or the teas in that area would brew up a much darker color.
Yes,
than this.
exactly. Much redder, right?
So you can sort of see from the storage that like probably the tea started out being a little bit lighter than this. It's a little bit darker, but it's still not like a super dank, humid, the sort of color you'd expect from those sorts of storages.
Right. Thank you. Now, what do you think about the sweetness of the tea?
Let's see.
Wow, it smells great.
Well, I'd say this tea is even more sweet. There's definitely some bitterness in it. For this one, for the previous tea, I tasted the bitter and then I tasted the sweet. This tea, I actually taste the sweet and then the bitter,
Right.
And then it kind of becomes sweetness again.
Right. And like you said, I feel like it sits very well in your throat, you know, in the back of your throat.
I also get sort of like almost hay-like characteristics with this. A little bit floral as well.
Interesting.
And kind of like Meat was saying, this tea is just starting to open up and thicken up. So So we're really the meat of the tea is still coming up.
I agree. Wow, this is a very, very good tea, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very good quality tea.
Would you describe this tea as smooth or rough?
Most definitely smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, smoothness kind of goes hand in hand with the clean brewing of the tea. I think those characteristics kind of sit together, and it's very clean, and I feel like it's very smooth tasting as well.
How about compared to the raw pour that we had in last InBetweenIsode?
Right, it's definitely smoother, significantly smoother.
Okay.
You can tell. Well, I feel like that I would have, if I had tasted the two together, I would have, and had I not known which years these were from,
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought this tea was probably the one that's aged longer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
Why is that?
And it's just because the tastes are a lot more subtle. Because
It's smoother.
it's smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not as bitter. It's the complexities are great. I think
Yep.